Hey guys, I am here with Heather, and she's been able to pay off over $86,000 extra on her business loans since working with us, literally making extra payments every single month to be able to bring that down and put her in a much more profitable place. So, Heather, welcome and thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Awesome. So, what I want to know first off is how long has it been since we worked together? Because we worked together a little while ago. How long has it been since then?
It has been, oh goodness, 8 months, 10 months, somewhere in there.
Okay, fair
Maybe
enough.
even a little longer.
Yeah, I'd have to go back. I should have looked at the dates
Yeah.
to be honest, but either way, it's been a hot minute. But tell us a little bit about where things were before we started working together. What was life like for you then?
Um, I never saw the outside of my bakery walls.
Okay.
My husband and I own the bakery together, and we never really saw each other unless we were inside the bakery.
Mm,
Sleeping opposite times. The kids rarely saw the two of us together. Um, it was a lot.
yeah. Yeah. I remember talking to you and just being like, I am exhausted and I can't keep doing what I'm doing. And to top it off, you really weren't making a ton of money either. You were working hard, but the money that was profiting didn't match up with your efforts.
Nope, not at all. Um, and if I remember right, I actually signed up with you guys within the first year of me actually taking over the bakery. So
Mm,
that
yeah,
not only learning the basics of the bakery, but also learning the ins and outs of being my own boss and being somebody
yeah.
else's boss.
100%. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, perfect. So you had no life. Your team wasn't in a good place. You felt like you had to do everything yourself. And to top it off, you weren't making a whole lot of money. So, flash forward to where you are now. Tell us what life is like now.
Pretty awesome. I'm actually sitting out by my pool. Um, my husband was just out here being my pool boy. So, can't go wrong with that. We're both home at the same time. We have 3 days off together. I went in to do some paperwork that I couldn't do from home. But other than that, I'm no longer on the schedule. I'm working right now at getting my husband off the schedule so that he can do the sick calls and the things that I don't really have a huge amount of management right now, which is something that I'm working on. One of my girls is going back to school, so that's been a thing. So we're working on replacing her. But
So let me stop you there though,
yeah,
because right now you're already replacing someone in advance of it happening. Whereas
yes,
back when
two
we
months
first worked
beforehand.
together, it would have been like, okay, they quit today. What do I do?
Exactly, exactly. So I also have my other manager is actually off for probably the next 2 years after falling and actually breaking his back.
Oh, wow.
So,
Okay.
but even with that, I'm still not in the bakery. I may go into the bakery a couple of times a week for admin side of things, training, that sort of thing. I'm very, very rarely on the floor now.
Yeah. And now tell me, you recently had some health complications as well that kind of took you out of operation altogether. So, and how long were you out for?
It's been a month since surgery, and I think I've been in the bakery 6 days in that month.
Okay. So think of it this way for everyone watching this, imagine if you had to have surgery and you had to be out for 4 weeks or 3 weeks. What would happen to your business right now? And so, Heather, tell me what happened to your business during that time.
We are still at 25% um, up over last year. We are a retail bakery that is a franchise, and
Mhm.
so weekly we get um, kind of newsletters on how everybody is doing against each other, and I'm still one of the top in Canada for sales growth over last year. Um, yeah, really, nothing is going on. Everything is smooth, and yeah, it's lovely. absolutely
Perfect.
lovely.
Perfect. And so to put this into context, not only that, but you're able to put in more money towards your loans. I think right before we started recording, you were mentioning, last month you put an extra $12,000 towards your loans. Is that correct?
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. So for that, it's pretty unfathomable for people to say, "Oh, I've got an extra 12,000 above what I need to have in my business account and pay myself. Here's an extra 12,000 I'm just going to put down on my loans." That seems pretty unfathomable for people, but for you, that's a pretty normal scenario because like I said, it's an extra $86,000 when we did the math on it of how much you've been able to pay. So
Yep.
what's happened is you were in a really terrible place, didn't have a life, weren't making money. Now you're making money, you have a life. The business has run without you when you needed it to, because again, you were out with surgery. So tell me just a few things, in a short couple of points. What do you think are the major things that we worked on that allowed you to get where you are now? What are the key things that we did that made that change?
I would have to say the people.
Yeah.
Learning that it's truly the people. And it started with the Indeed ad. I
Mhm.
still have, the ads that we put out for,
Yep.
whether it be on Workable or Indeed or
Yeah.
Facebook or wherever it goes. I still have people that choose to come in for an interview based on the ad that you guys helped me create.
Yeah.
So I've had head office contact me and ask if they can use my ad that I've put in, if they can talk to me about it. I'm actually a remote bakery. I'm in interior BC,
Mm.
in Canada, and head office for Cobb's is down on the coast of BC. And I have vice presidents coming up to see my bakery, to talk to me about what I'm doing differently from other bakeries because
Yeah.
we're performing that much more.
Wow. Okay. I love it. I love it. I
Yep.
mean, I couldn't
Yep.
have summed that up better myself. So literally to see such a change and then literally to be leading the franchise in such a way, that is an amazing thing. And what's funny is that you're not the only franchise we hear from that is seeing the same type of thing. So
Yep.
they all wonder, what are these people doing differently? So I love it. So we also have Dave here as well. He was coaching you directly during that time. So Dave, just give us a little snapshot. What are the biggest and best things about the journey with Heather? What do you remember as being the key things that made her different, or really allowed her to succeed?
Yeah, I mean, Heather was a textbook client, if we can say that. And the reason is she was so open to receive the information and so ready to receive that information that once she got the info, she applied it as good as or better than anybody I've ever seen. She was a perfect executor of and of implementation. So every time we started something, so when hiring was like probably one of the biggest
Yeah.
Yep.
things. And when you literally took it and copied and pasted it exactly as we suggested, and it worked. You didn't try to reinvent the wheel. You didn't try to tweak it more or do this or do that. You literally took the instruction, put it into place, and compounded the effect with the
Yep.
results. And it was amazing. And you were a textbook example at the time for the other clients that we had going on. And that was the key. It's really that simple. Is you are a master at taking instruction, being coached, and applying the information. And my guess is that through that, you also are a fantastic leader to your team, which is why 10 months later, you're still having the same benefits and it's stuck, is because some of the best leaders are the best students, right? And so as being the best student and applying information, you're now an amazing, well, and just in your character, you're an amazing leader, and you can pass on that information and duplicate it. And that's where you're getting the long-term sticky results, which is the best testimonial we could ever get, because you're not fading back and going back to the old ways. Your stickiness is amazing. So congratulations, great job. Such a fun time working with you and now seeing the results.
Yeah. Amazing.
There is actually something else I would love to add as well.
Please.
the same year that I worked with you guys, and since then, you know, every city has the best of awards that go through, and we were for the city of Vernon, we were for the Chamber of Commerce. They do a business awards,
Hmm.
and so we were voted best medium business of the year in all of Vernon.
Okay.
We were runner-ups for best customer service in Vernon, as well as employer of the year for Vernon.
Wow.
So, and the employer of the year would have to come from my team.
Hmm.
It's for people to be able to nominate their bosses as some of the best that are in the city. So
Oh,
that was one of my hugest things, because as you said, Dave, how many times did I call you guys crying because of, you know, things not going well and stressed out, and how is this going to work? And you know, we had so many crazy things happen during the time that
Yeah.
we were with you. I don't know if you guys remember, but the fires in the city,
Yeah.
when, you know, thousands of people evacuated, and you know, it was an absolutely insane time.
Yeah.
But I came to you guys for help, which when you were saying I was open and able to receive, there's no point in pushing back. There's no point in, as you said, trying to reinvent the wheel. We're here for a reason, and I wanted to take as much knowledge from you guys as I could.
Yeah. And it sounds like that's worked. And I mean, I don't want people watching this to be like, oh, I have to be the best in order to get results. But literally, it's actually
No.
quite simple. You know, Heather literally just did what we laid out and executed it. And there it was, right? Would you say that you view yourself to be personally above everyone else, or anything like Superwoman?
No, I'm too humble a person for that. I mean, there's always things I can do better. There is
Yeah.
always, I'm going to be joining you guys again to get help with some of the marketing side of things,
Mm,
because I haven't been able to get that stuff done. But you know, am I proud of where I am? Compare Am I better than what I was a year ago, or even 6 months ago? Yeah, most definitely, because
yeah.
you know, you try something new, you see how it works, and you know, you rock it from there.
Perfect. So if you were sitting down just across the pool chairs that you've got there, sitting down with someone who is thinking like, hey, who are these ownership folks? You know, I don't feel like I have money to spend. Like, is it worth it? Like, you know, am I gonna, you know, waste my money, stuff like that? If someone was sitting there in the same shoes you were before you started, what would you say to them?
That I have always thought that you could spend your money in the worst ways possible. You know, if you want to spend the next 6 months paying extra labor to the people that you can't hold accountable because they don't want to be there, then have at it. Or that extra labor that you would have spent, you know, you could try a program like this that has made such a difference in my business, my life, my family's life, and being able to take the 3 months, the 6 months, whatever the program is that is being offered right now, and just jump on board and see where it takes you, because it will,
Yeah,
that money that you're spending gets paid back in dividends, whether it be in money, in time, in happiness,
yeah,
because it's at the end of the day, I'm quite happy to be running my business and not have my business running me anymore.
100%. I love it. I love it. Awesome, Heather. Thank you so much for being here. And again, it's been just a joy to see your journey. I'm very proud of what you've been able to accomplish. And I was so glad
Thank you.
to hear from you that you reached out after all this time just to let us know how well things are going.
Most definitely.
All right. Thank you, everybody.